Greetings, comic friends. Let us celebrate the best day of the week, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day with TGIW. Thank God it is Wednesday. Um, we had another great week. I think I might be getting this this under control. Um, in kind of more ways than one. I think. I did get something new off the shelf that I will probably add to my ongoing list, but I'm not worried about it. So this week, including the new thing that I got, we're at a total of 7 books, which is really good. And again, they were all yeah they're all good. So first, Spider-Man number 7. So this is the conclusion to the end of the Spider-Verse series. Also, if you're on social media, there is some hype around this with a new character being introduced, barely, and already people are going nuts. There are variant covers with that new character on the cover, and people are just, speculators are going crazy. And for me, and this is part of one reason why I don't like to do speculation and stuff like that, because it ruins it. I didn't know that there was going to be a new character coming into this, and I was surprised by it, which, I mean, that's what I'm here for, right? I'm here for the story. I don't want things to get spoiled, and it did get spoiled, which I'm thankful for. But because of that, I didn't get the fancy cover or whatever. I didn't even try because I didn't even know about it. I'm okay with it. I have the book. I read the story. The story was great. I'm happy. But yeah, the speculation stuff is still going out there. It's still out of control. People just go nuts for stuff, and it's getting old. All right, Ghost Rider number 13. So we have Danny Ketch coming back a little bit, and things aren't great. But we're getting a little bit of the backstory, but not totally what's kind of been going on, why he is how he is right now. I am curious to know. But Johnny Blaze is my favorite Ghost Rider. Danny Ketch is great too. So to have them both come together is a lot of fun. So still really enjoying that book. Amazing Spider-Man number 23. Again, we're learning what happened in that downtime that was kind of skipped. So this is all kind of flashback around what's going on with Mary Jane and all of that. So we know what essentially happened. So now we're seeing how it is going to resolve. It's very interesting. Spider-Man is looking for help. He is very, very rushed for reasons that are explained in this book. He's people are trying to bring him in or trying to contain him. And he's like, look, I'm sorry. I don't have time for this. Help me or don't help me. But if you're not going to help me, you need to get out of my way, or I'm going to put you out of my way. So yeah, it's an interesting story. Well, I'll say this: I'm not sure how it's going to feel at the end. It's interesting now, but what the result is going to be, I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know, like a one more day thing, right? Where it's like they wanted to tweak some stuff, but overall it didn't end up great. Like while you're reading it, it's like, I mean, it's interesting, but at the end, when you see the result and what it means for the overall character, like, I don't know about this. Batman 134. So he is still in this alternate universe where there was no Batman, and stuff goes wrong. It's very good. I don't know what to say about it. It's very good. It's interesting to see this world without Batman. These other characters like Selena Kyle and the Rogues Gallery, where are they at with their lives? What's going on? And we kind of get to the main bad guy here and what he's trying to accomplish. And then the backup story with Tim Drake, him trying to get to that universe to help Batman, is also Joe Fixit number 4. This has been a lot of fun. I love a good Hulk story. I love Peter David on Hulk, especially. I haven't read the part of Hulk that has Joe Fixit, so this really is kind of my first real full Joe Fixit story. Um, and I mean, I enjoy it. So this is kind of my introduction to actual Joe Fixit. I just in my Hulk run reading it, I haven't got to that point yet. I'm still quite a bit of ways away. There's a lot before that. Um, but Spider-Man's there, Kingpin's there, Joe Fixit's there. Obviously, Bruce Banner is kind of there. It ended on a cliffhanger last time with Joe Fixit falling from the sky and turning into Bruce Banner. Like, oh wow, doesn't look good. But yeah, it's a very, very good story. Saga number 63. So we're still plugging away on Saga. The kind of the side story with the kids here is very intriguing to me. So there is this person that says they are able to kind of bring people who are dead, they can bring them back. And Alana is like, no. Marco, he had his time. This is the way it was. This is the way it was meant to be. It's intriguing, but whatever. The kids overhear this conversation that people can be brought back. So both of their fathers could potentially get brought back. And, she's kind of mad at her mom for turning this down. So they end up approaching this lady and say, hey, we are interested in this. What's got to be done? So it starts mainly following that story, which is interesting. But Alana's still trying to get off the current planet. And the thing that I picked up off the shelf, if you did not know this about me, I really love Planet of the Apes. Really, really like Planet of the Apes. I love all of the original movies. I know a lot of them aren't considered to be very good, but I do enjoy watching all of them. I like the TV show that came out in the late 60s, 70s. And I really like the remakes of it, the ones that had James Franco and was in only the first one, I think. But I really like that Planet of the Apes, Rise of Planet of the Apes, and whatever the other one was. But I really enjoy it. But I do love Planet of the Apes quite a bit. I do have some Planet of the Apes Migos hanging out back there. I collect Migos of properties that I enjoy. So Planet of the Apes is there because I do enjoy Planet of the Apes. Also, there's my trash can. You get to see that. So I picked this up. This was really good. I really enjoyed it. So it appears to be following the reboot timeline. We see Caesar, we see Korga. They're not really involved in the story, but when it kind of gives like the setup of a little bit of what happened in those movies, they show up. So it is following that timeline, which is great because I really enjoy that timeline. And that one has a lot more depth to it than the original Planet of the Apes. So it makes sense. So I don't know what this is going to be. I assume it's going to be similar to how they're doing Predator and Alien, where it's just going to be a limited series one after another. So a bunch of self-contained stories one after another. That's my guess on how they're doing this, because that's how this first issue feels. It feels like it's starting just a slice of what was happening in part of the time during Planet of the Apes. And if that's the case, that's great. I actually really like that format for these properties. It stops them from getting old. Like if you have the same characters going through, you kind of have to come up with these new ideas around these same characters. Whereas instead, if you just have a completely new story every time, like, well, this fits into a nice 5-6 issue arc, and then you're done with it. You can kill off characters. You can do all kinds of stuff. in that sort of format. So I hope that's what they're doing here, and I'm really, really excited for it. So I'm definitely going to be adding that to my poll. There's one other thing that I got. I almost got this last week. I was on I was on the fence about it. When I went back this week, it was still there, so I went ahead and picked it up. It is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures #1. I wish I had this when I went to the Kevin Eastman signing, but it's not the way time works. So this is the first appearance of Bebop and Rocksteady. I've talked about this with other people, not necessarily this specific issue, but just in general. And every time I mention that I don't have it, everyone's always surprised. Like, how do you not have that? Like, you're this big Turtles fan, especially in this era. I grew up on it. They're surprised that I don't have it. And no one is as surprised as me. I just, the right copy had never come along. I've had some nice copies come by that either weren't really for sale, or the price wasn't right, or the condition wasn't right. So I previously didn't have it. So this was on the shelf for a reasonable price, lower than what I expect to pay for it, but it's not without its problems. I picked this up as kind of a project book. Like at a glance, like this looks great, right? At a glance, it looks great. There are a number of defects, some addressable and some not. So this is not going to end up being like a 9.6, 9.8 candidate. There's no way. There's no way. Just with some of the defects on it. There are some pretty deep color breaking spine ticks on it. So the reason I originally didn't get this is because I was like, I kind of want a better looking copy than this can end up being. And the back of this is bad. It's gross. But I think I can clean a lot of it up. But it definitely needs a lot of work to get to close to a state where I'm comfortable with it. And even then, my thought was, I don't know if I can if it's possible to get this good enough to where I'm happy with it. And then I kept thinking about it, like, you know what? If I put work into it, it makes it more important to me. It makes it more personal to me. If I can clean it up or fix it up, a significant amount, it becomes that much more important to me personally. And it's a chance to get this book at what will be much better than what it is now at a very, very good price. So it's with the way the market is today, and the way that prices are still kind of, I think, a little inflated. Overall, they might be trending down, but I think they're still inflated. I have to do more of a balancing act. Like, is this book worth paying like $200 for like a really, really nice copy? Maybe, but also it's much more worth it to get it at a much, much, much lower price and have the ability to bring it up higher. And like, it's not like it's the first appearance of the Turtles or whatever. It is a significant Turtles key, but I think I was able to get there with what, this is probably the smarter buy. It looks good enough, or it will look good enough, that I'll be satisfied with it, and I'm for what it will be, I got it for a steal. So, and the fact that it was there and I didn't get it, and it was still there. One of my friends, we were actually talking about it. He sent a picture of it. It's like, oh, see what they have. I'm like, yeah, I know. I almost got it. And then he was like, I'm thinking about getting it. So I like, you know what? Go ahead, get it if you want it. I'll back off. And then he didn't get it, and it was still there when I went back the next week. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger and picked it up. So I'm excited to work on that. Excited to see what can come out of it. And there are specifically two significant color breaking spine ticks with a handful of other smaller ones. So it's not going to come back super high grade, but if I can get it at around an 8 or so, um, yeah. And there's some creases on the middle of the cover as well that might not be addressable, but we'll see. Anyway, I have this book now. It was a significant gap that needed to be rectified, and I decided it was worth it to go for a little bit lower grade copy than what I had originally wanted. But that just kind of has to do with the way the market is. And I'm happy with it. Even in the state that it's in, I'm happy with it. But I'll be happier once I put that work into it. But that's it. So yeah, a really solid week. Everything was really good so far. No complaints about anything. This was a great pickup. I'm glad that I did it. Nice small week, 7 books, wins all around. So let me know your thoughts. How did you do this week? What was the big thing that you were looking forward to that you got, and was it good? Were you disappointed? Let me know in the comments, and like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.